Jiang Runing had been divorced from her ex-husband for 5 years, yet they still shared a bank card. She earned an annual salary of 1 million, but every month, as soon as her wages were deposited, not a single cent remained. She transferred it all to her ex-husband. Even though we're divorced, there's still a child between us. I can't just ignore that. In the days that followed, she used this as her excuse. Even when her water broke, she rushed off to take care of her ex-husband's son. This led to our daughter being born with congenital deficiencies. Later, when our daughter suddenly fell ill and needed money for surgery, she gave all the money to her ex-husband's son for his treatment. That time, I proposed a divorce, but Jiang Runing cried and begged me. Both sides are my flesh and blood. You have to understand the difficulties I face as a mother. I promise it won't happen again. For the sake of our young daughter, I chose to compromise. But this time, our daughter fell ill with a fever and was diagnosed with acute leukemia. When I went to pay the fees, I was told the bank card deduction had failed. The card, which should have had hundreds of thousands saved up, was completely empty. It was then I realized that Jiang Runing had transferred the wages again. Our daughter, burning with fever and groggy, held my hand. Daddy, does mommy not want me anymore? I comforted her, but I also knew, perhaps it was time to find our daughter a new mother. After another call to Jiang Runing was rejected, I didn't try again. Our daughter, huddled on the hospital corridor bed, pointed at the payment window not far away and looked up at me. Daddy, is that mommy? I looked over and, sure enough, saw Jiang Runing holding her precious son in her arms. When our eyes met, her expression stiffened for a moment. Then she placed the child into Lu Ming's arms. After bending down to whisper a few instructions, she walked towards me. The moment she saw our daughter, she sighed faintly, then turned to accuse me. Su Yi, you knew Anan was weak, yet you still left her in the corridor. Did you do it on purpose? Is the hospital out off for you? A cold laugh rose in my throat, the anger in my chest burning hotter. Our daughter has a high fever. I called you dozens of times. Why didn't you answer? The hundreds of thousands on my salary card were all transferred out by you. Do you think Anan can only sleep on a hospital corridor bed for no reason? My raised voice drew the attention of passers-by. As if I had hit a nerve, Jiang Runing's face paled slightly. She lowered her voice in warning. This is a hospital. Aren't you embarrassed? Jiang Runing crouched down to feel our daughter's temperature, then revealed a mocking smile. Su Yi, if you're going to lie, at least come up with a decent story. She doesn't even have a fever. I have a lot to do. How started coughing again yesterday. I really don't have time for your little tricks. Impatiently, she took a card from her bag and shoved it into my hand. There's still 10,000 on this card. If she's really sick, use it to treat her. The cold temperature of the card as it was pressed into my palm couldn't compare to the chill in my heart. I clenched it tightly, finding it utterly ridiculous. 10,000 wasn't even enough for 1 month of our daughter's medical expenses. The diagnosis sheet for acute leukemia was still in my pocket. Even if I took it out now and showed it to Jiang Runing, she would just think I was putting on an act. In the 5 years of our marriage, every month as soon as her salary was deposited, she gave it all to her ex-husband. She even transferred my wages away too. All of it was for that sickly son of hers she always talked about. I looked at our daughter's sallow face, my heart wrenching. Seeing I didn't speak, Jiang Runing frowned. Kids get sick, it'll pass in a few days. Isn't this money enough? I asked hoarsely, my voice choked. She's your child too. Have you ever thought about your son with asthma? Have you ever thought about your daughter, born with deficiencies? All these years, I've paid for the household expenses and our daughter's medical bills. What about you? What have you ever contributed to this family? Subsidizing your ex-husband and son? Then why did you even divorce him? Jiang Running, the reason Anan is like this is all your damn fault. Slap. As soon as I finished speaking, Jiang Running slapped me hard across the face. Suyi, do you even act like a father? Her voice was so loud that people in the corridor started whispering among themselves. Our daughter was immediately frightened into crying. The crying annoyed Jiang Running. She poked our daughter's head hard with her finger. What are you crying for? A kid your age learning to be bad, pretending to be sick. I pushed Jiang Running away and held our tearful daughter in my arms. That's when Lu Ming came over. Ah Ning, so here you are. As he spoke, his gaze shifted to me and our daughter, a hint of surprise in his eyes. Anan is sick. Why is she sleeping in the corridor? Doesn't she even have a ward? Because of Lu Ming's appearance, Jiang Running barely managed to suppress her anger. She just glared viciously at me. She's faking it, don't worry. How were Hao's test results? Upon learning there was nothing serious, Jiang Running immediately breathed a sigh of relief. She pinched Hao's nose playfully. Let's go home. Mom will make your favorite braised pork. From start to finish, she didn't look at me or Anan again. My cheek throbbed with pain. Watching the three of them leave, tears blurred my vision. After our daughter was out of danger, I completed the discharge procedures. Returning home, I opened the door to find the place in a mess. The family photo on the table lay shattered on the floor. Jiang Running had smashed it a week ago. We had argued then. She and Lu Ming had been divorced for 5 years, and our child with her was also 5 years old now. But for those 5 years, she had always sided with Lu Ming and his son. Daddy, can you shave my hair off for me? Anan held up the special clippers for me. Because of her illness, she needed chemotherapy, and chemotherapy makes hair fall out. Anan loved being pretty, but even if we kept her hair now, it was pointless. Daddy, will my hair grow back? Strand after strand of soft hair fell to the floor. I could see the glistening tears in the corners of my little girl's eyes. My heart ached with bitterness. Back then, if it hadn't been for Lu Ming's phone call, Anan's body wouldn't be like this now. Jiang Running and I had argued fiercely at the time. She was already 8 months pregnant, just 2 months from her due date. But when she heard that Lu Hao was in the hospital with asthma, she was frantic to go to him. I tried to stop her. You're pregnant. Lu Ming is there, and there are doctors. He'll be fine. Hao isn't your son, so of course you don't care. Jiang Running shoved me hard, picked up scissors, and held them against her own belly. If you don't let me go today, it'll be 2 lives for the price of 1, me and the baby. For her sake, and for the baby's, I agreed. I drove her to the hospital. Because she was so agitated, her water broke on the way. But she insisted on taking care of Lu Hao first. She delayed for a full 2 days before finally giving birth. Because of that, our daughter was premature, born with deficiencies. She had been weak and sickly ever since birth. Exhaustion flooded my entire body as I looked at our daughter, her face blue and purple in the incubator. I proposed divorce to Jiang Running. If you love him that much, why did you even divorce him? But Jiang Running didn't want to. She clutched my hand desperately, her face pale just after giving birth. Suyi, I never thought it would turn out like this. I was just so worried. I promise you, I won't contact Lu Ming again from now on. The most important thing now is our daughter. She's so young, she can't be without her mother. Even though I was determined to divorce, seeing our daughter always softened my resolve. I believed what Jiang Running said. For a long time, she indeed didn't contact Lu Ming again. I almost thought she had truly changed her mind. But I never expected that when our daughter had a high fever once, she secretly went to celebrate Lu Hao's birthday. When I received the photo Lu Ming sent, our daughter's fever was so high she was rushed to the emergency room for. After that incident, the rift between Jiang Runing and me grew wider and wider. I stopped caring how she treated Lu Ming and his son, only wishing for our daughter's safety. For 5 years, our daughter and I had long gotten used to Jiang Runing's absence. But this time, the diagnosis of acute leukemia broke me. I knew there was no future left for Jiang Runing and me. Our daughter's hair was all shaved off. Looking in the mirror, her eyes red, she started crying again. I held her, noticing how much weight she had lost. After I calmed her down and she slept, I looked at my phone. Jiang Runing's Moments post was located at an upscale restaurant. She was celebrating with Lu Ming because their son was safe. I curled my lip, clicked on the chat box where I had already replied, then dialed my divorce lawyer's number. Prepare a divorce agreement for me. I want custody of my daughter. Jiang Runing didn't come home for several days in a row. Annan asked about her every day at first, but later stopped mentioning her altogether. It seemed she had forgotten Jiang Runing existed. Until our daughter's birthday. I took the day off, planning to spend it well at home with her. Because of constant hospital visits and medication, Annan was skin and bones. Every time I saw her, I couldn't help but cry. A noise came from the entrance. Annan immediately looked up. Jiang Runing had returned, carrying a birthday cake. She casually kicked off her high heels, not mentioning where she'd been the past few days, just smiling. Annan, Mommy's back to celebrate your birthday with you. I really didn't want Jiang Runing near Annan. But I also knew that what our daughter wanted most was her mother's company. Sure enough, as soon as Jiang Runing came back, Annan's pale face gained a bit of color. Jiang Runing took a dress out of a gift bag. A present for Annan. Like it? Try it on quickly. She pulled the dress over Annan's head. But Annan's arms couldn't get through, they were covered in needle marks. I stopped Jiang Runing, my voice hard. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Can't you see you bought the wrong size? Jiang Runing's brow furrowed instantly, the smile on her lips vanishing completely. She slapped my hand away. Chen Yi, what do you mean? I came back specially to celebrate her birthday, bought a gift, and now you're complaining? Do you know how much this dress cost? A 2,000 yuan dress. I'm good enough to her, aren't I? Jiang Runing insisted on forcing the dress on. Annan cried out in pain, tears streaming. I couldn't take it anymore and pushed Jiang Runing away. You have money for this dress, but you ignore our daughter's medical bills. In the scuffle, Annan's wig fell off her head, revealing her bald scalp. Jiang Runing shot up and pointed at me and Annan, cursing loudly. Are you two trying to piss me off? Doing this on purpose? Why the hell did you shave your head? Trying to look pitiful? Our daughter covered her head and wailed loudly. I held her tightly, gritting my teeth, and threw the too small dress directly into the trash. Why did you even come back? You're her mother, and you don't even know what size clothes she wears. Do you know why she shaved her head? Have you ever cared about her? Jiang Runing crossed her arms over her chest, her attitude cold towards my words. How is still at home? I shouldn't have even come back to celebrate your daughter's birthday. What else can she do now besides act pitiful? Annan's crying suddenly stopped. She looked up blankly at Jiang Runing. A sharp ringtone cut through the air. I didn't need to guess, it was Lu Ming calling. Ever since before, whenever Jiang Runing came home, he always found some reason to call her back. Who knows what Lu Ming said on the other end, but Jiang Runing was about to leave. Annan reached out and grabbed her sleeve, her voice tearful. Mommy, you promised to stay for my birthday. Jiang Runing impatiently shook her off. The cake on the cabinet was knocked to the floor, the frosting smearing. I clearly saw the mango pieces inside. Anan was allergic to mango, she couldn't eat a single bit. The last flicker of hope in my heart was completely extinguished. I sighed deeply and picked up Anan. If you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. Jiang Runing glanced back at me and sneered. I paid for half of this house. I'll come back whenever I want. Chen Yi, try to understand me. Hao Hao's asthma is severe, he really can't be left alone. She hurriedly dropped these words and closed the door behind her. I stood there for a long time, only then noticing that our daughter's sobbing had gradually stopped. Looking down, I saw her face was deathly pale, blood dripping steadily from her nose. My body reacted before my mind. I grabbed our daughter and rushed madly towards the hospital, running several red lights along the way. As I pushed the gurney following the doctor into the operating room, I ran straight into Jiang Runing, who was also holding Lu Hao, who was having an asthma attack. She frowned without looking at me, then glanced at our pale-faced daughter on the gurney. Suyi, what are you doing about now? I just left, and now you follow us to the hospital? It must be exhausting for you to fake being this sick. She put Lu Hao down and took his hand. Although the child was still a bit wheezy, his complexion was rosy, he didn't seem too bad. Lu Ming, standing beside Jiang Runing, also sighed and shook his head. Suyi, I'm not one to talk, but Jiang Runing and I have been divorced for a while. You two are husband and wife now. Between her and me, it's just because of the child. He spoke words of persuasion, but the mockery in his tone was undisguised. I didn't want to get entangled with them. But Jiang Runing grabbed my arm, her voice rising. Have you ignored every warning I gave you? I left our daughter with you, and you can't even take proper care of her. As we struggled, Lu Hao reached out and snatched Anan's wig off. He pointed at her bald head and laughed loudly. Uncle Chen, why doesn't she have any hair? She's a baldy. So ugly. My eyes reddened. I pushed Lu Hao away, grinding my teeth. Control your son. Then I immediately spoke to the doctor. My daughter has acute leukemia. She's been having nosebleeds and a high fever. You have to save her. After I pushed Lu Hao, he fell flat on his bottom. He gasped for air and started crying, scaring Lu Ming, who snatched him up and patted his back constantly to soothe his breathing. Chen Yi. Don't you know my son has asthma? Jiang Runing was beside herself with worry and pain. She blocked the gurney and glared coldly at me. Apologize. No way. Jiang Runing, Anan is really, seriously ill. Even if you don't care about her, stop coming near us. If it weren't for her, if it weren't for Lu Ming and his son, my daughter wouldn't be like this. The doctor beside me asked me to sign the surgery consent form. Before I could take the pen, Jiang Runing snatched the form away. You haven't apologized yet. Don't forget, I transferred all the money from your bank card. You don't have a cent on you right now. If you don't apologize, I'm not paying for her surgery. As we were deadlocked, footsteps echoed in the corridor. A familiar voice made my tense body relax slightly. I've already paid the medical fees. I am Anan's mother. Jiang Runing whirled around, her face instantly turning livid. Song Haoan? What are you doing here? I am Anan's biological mother. Who do you think you are? Jiang Runing never expected Song Yuan to appear here. She stared fixedly at Song Yuan. Even Lu Ming looked at Song Yuan with a hint of infatuation. The other woman didn't answer her, instead looking at Chen Yi. Anan's condition is critical. If you trust me, transfer hospitals. Ignored, Jiang Runing's face darkened. Chen Yi, if you take our daughter away today, we're getting a divorce. She and Song Haoan were rivals, having disliked each other since university. When she was dating Lu Ming, he had always pined after this Song Yuan. That was the real reason she divorced Lu Ming. After the divorce, she chose Chen Yi. She never expected Chen Yi to also have some connection with Song Yuan. It seemed like any man she fancied, Song Yuan would stick her nose in. If Chen Yi chose Song Yuan today, their relationship was finished. The divorce agreement is already at home. Sign it. We'll meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau in a month. Chen Yi left these words and, with Song Yuan's arrangements, took their daughter to transfer hospitals. Watching Chen Yi turn to leave, Jiang Running's chest heaved with anger. Although he had always let her have her way over the years, at this moment, he chose someone else. Chen Yi, don't come crying to me later. Until Chen Ye's figure disappeared from the hospital, Jiang Running received no reply. Lu Ming retracted his gaze with some regret. Seeing Jiang Running's flushed face, he felt a trace of disdain but still looked down to check on his son. Running, Lu Hao needs to stay in the hospital for observation for a few more days. Chen Yi is really something, lashing out at a child. Lu Ming pulled up Lu Hao's sleeve, showing the bruise on his arm from the fall to Jiang Running. Sure enough, her brow furrowed with concern. Chen Yi has gone too far. Jiang Running's mind flashed back to the scene of him standing with Song Yuan just moments ago, and the anger in her chest churned anew. She carefully applied medicine to Lu Hao's wound. Because he needed to stay for observation, Jiang Running spent the next few days by Lu Hao's side. She firmly believed Chen Ye's words were just angry talk, he wouldn't really divorce her. Even if it was for their daughter's sake, he would compromise. Besides, over the years, Chen Yi had proposed divorce more than once, but it always ended in failure. In the end, he was the one who apologized. As long as their daughter existed, he would stay by her side forever. Jiang Running didn't plan to give in first. She waited for Chen Yi to come and apologize. A week passed. Lu Hao's condition improved considerably. The doctor gave a few instructions, and he could be discharged. But these days in the hospital, Jiang Running felt increasingly restless. Without Chen Ye's nagging, she felt something was missing. Normally at times like this, Chen Yi would call her, saying Anna needed her, asking her to come home and spend time with the child, not always be at her ex-husband's place. Jiang Running's thoughts wandered far until Lu Hao tugged her hand. Mom, let's go home. Lu Ming skillfully put his arm around her shoulder. Running, let's go on a trip after we're discharged. With the 300,000 you transferred to my card last month, besides the medical bills, there should be some left for fun. How about the Maldives? Hearing about the Maldives, Lu Hao immediately got excited, shaking Jiang Running's hand. Mom, I want to go to the Maldives. All my friends have been. In the past, hearing such a request, Jiang Running would have agreed instantly. She granted Lu Hao almost anything he asked for. But this time, she hesitated. That 300,000 was money she had secretly transferred from Chen Ye's salary card. Using it for medical treatment was one thing, but using it for a vacation gave her pause. Jiang Running, are you regretting giving me that 300,000? If you regret it, take the money back, give it to Chen Yi, and use it for Annan's treatment. Lu Ming's tone cooled considerably. Hearing Lu Ming say this, and spurred on by the appearance of Song Yuan, Jiang Running immediately retorted. Her illness is fake. Since I gave you that 300,000, it's yours. Jiang Running patted Lu Hao's head. Since my son wants to go, we'll go. She followed the father and son back to their place, not to the home she shared with Chen Yi. She would wait for Chen Yi to come and beg her to return. Although they had been married for 5 years, honestly, over the years, her separation from Lu Ming hadn't been complete. Jiang Running initially attributed this to the child between her and Lu Ming. And the child was an inseparable part of her as a mother, which was why she maintained contact with Lu Ming. Like this, she had built another home outside with Lu Ming. But this home was all for the child's sake. There was nothing improper between her and Lu Ming. Thinking this way, Jiang Running felt no sense of wrongdoing at all. They soon arrived at the apartment she rented for them. Lu Hao ran barefoot to the sofa and turned on the TV. Lu Ming went back to his room to play games. For a moment, Jiang Running was left alone in the kitchen. She looked at her son, who had candy wrappers strewn everywhere, and sighed faintly. Suddenly, she thought of Chen Yi. When she was with him, she didn't have to do anything. Breakfast was ready when she woke up, and Chen Yi even drew her bathwater in advance. Their daughter didn't need her care either, just her company. She had lived this split life for 5 years, caring for one son on one side, just enjoying life on the other. Jiang Running snapped back to reality. She put down the ladle and called out to Lu Ming. "My wrist hurts a bit. You cook today." He was still immersed in his game, not hearing a word. Until Jiang Running reached over and pulled off his headphones. Lu Ming's brow showed impatience. "Can whatever it is wait?" Jiang Running's expression darkened. "I don't feel well. You cook today." Hearing this, Lu Ming pursed his lips but reluctantly put down the game. "Running, Lu Hao loves your cooking the most. Besides, I don't know how to cook at all." In the past, Lu Ming would always use such excuses to fob her off. But this time, Jiang Running took a deep breath. "If that's the case, let's order takeout." Hearing takeout, Lu Ming spoke up again. "It's okay for us adults to eat takeout, but Lu Hao is still young. It's fine once in a while." Seeing Jiang Running truly didn't want to cook, Lu Ming took her phone and started ordering lobster, salmon, seafood. The meal cost over 10,000 yuan. And this wasn't the first time over the years. Jiang Running snatched the phone back and cancelled the order. "Lu Ming, I've taken a lot of leave this month, my salary isn't much. Use your phone to order." As Jiang Running finished speaking, Lu Ming's face turned somewhat unpleasant. But eventually, he used his own phone, though not as extravagantly as before. Now, how could Jiang Running not understand Lu Ming's little schemes? Over the years, they shared a bank card, and all her salary went to Lu Ming and Lu Hao. Meanwhile, Chen Ye's wages supported their own home. Thinking of this, a rare twinge of guilt surfaced in Jiang Running's heart. She lost all appetite. Grabbing her bag and changing her shoes, she prepared to leave. Seeing this, Lu Ming finally looked up from his game. "Where are you going?" Jiang Running exhaled. "I left something at home. I'm going back to get it." Hearing this, Lu Ming didn't ask further, nor did he offer to drive her home. She had to take a taxi back herself. These days, Jiang Running hadn't contacted Chen Yi, hoping he would reach out first. But so far, he hadn't even sent a single text. On the way home, Jiang Running thought a lot, but she still firmly believed that Chen Yi and their daughter would be waiting for her at home. They hadn't spoken for just over a week. This time, the father and daughter must be angry, which was why they were acting this way. Thinking this, Jiang Running opened the door, only to find the place empty. Even their daughter's usual toys and the clothes in the cupboard were gone. Jiang Running took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. Then she noticed the divorce agreement on the table, with Chen Ye's signature already on it. It stated that custody of their daughter went to Chen Yi, and the house went to her. Jiang Running clutched the paper tightly. She pulled out her phone and frantically dialed Chen Ye's number. Even though she didn't want to believe it, even though she tried to deceive herself, the divorce agreement right before her eyes meant Chen Yi was serious. A cold, mechanical voice answered. Chen Yi didn't pick up. Jiang Running immediately sent a text, but was greeted by a red exclamation mark. Chen Yi had deleted her contact info. Realizing this, Jiang Running panicked completely. Jiang Running had never felt anything slip out of her control like this. She couldn't think of a way to find Chen Yi. All her thoughts were consumed by him. Even when Lu Ming called, saying Lu Hao needed her, Jiang Runing refused. I've already transferred Lu Hao's child support to you. Since you wanted custody, you take care of him. Saying this, Jiang Runing blocked Lu Ming. Song Yuan found the most authoritative surgeon in the capital. Anan's condition suddenly deteriorated, only surgery offered hope of survival. Chen Yi, I know you don't dare gamble as a father, but this is the only chance. Trust me, Dr. Zhang is confident. Encouraged by Song Haoan, I ultimately chose to let Anan have the surgery. I waited outside the operating room for what felt like an eternity until the light went out and Anan was wheeled into a regular ward. Only then did I breathe a slight sigh of relief. Then I heard the surgeon say, the surgery went very smoothly. Don't worry. Excitedly, I thanked the doctor repeatedly. Song Yuan had already gone into the ward to care for Anan. Chen Yi, from now on, I'll treat Anan as my own child. Don't worry, as long as I'm here, no one will bully you or Anan. Song Yuan said this because she knew how I had struggled all these years. When Jiang Runing's water broke and Anan was born weak, I proposed divorce. Somehow, Song Yuan found out. She called me that day. Chen Yi, if you need any help, just tell me. I'll always be waiting for you. And so, she waited for 5 years. I truly didn't know how to thank her. If it weren't for her this time, Anan might not have made it. Just thinking about Jiang Runing transferring my wages and blocking the operating room, threatening me, made my heart ache. Haoan, thank you. Thank you for saving Anan. Song Yuan shook her head. You don't need to be so polite. I really like Anan. In a month, Anan had mostly recovered in the hospital. Just before discharge, I ran into Jiang Runing. Anan, who used to run to Jiang Runing, now held tightly to mine and Song Haoan's hands instead. Anan, mommy's here. Jiang Runing bent down, reaching out to Anan, but Anan just turned her head away. The cooling off period is over. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and get the certificate. I looked calmly at Jiang Runing, reminding her. Seeming surprised by my composure, Jiang Runing's eyes reddened slightly. Do you really want a divorce? Is our daughter willing? Or have you already found someone else? Facing her barrage of questions, I exhaled slowly. You were entangled with your ex-husband during our marriage, transferred my wages, and nearly caused our daughter's death. Based on these points alone, I can divorce you. Seeing I was determined, Jiang Runing stopped arguing. She pulled me towards the Civil Affairs Bureau. If we divorce today, there's no future for us. In the past, she only used our daughter to threaten me. Now she used the same tactic. I handed my documents to the staff and looked back at Jiang Runing. There hasn't been a future for us for a long time. Divorce is the best outcome. Only when the divorce certificate was handed to her did Jiang Runing snap back. Chen Yi, I really regret it. I regret not focusing on you and our daughter all these years. She confessed, word by word, but this confession came far too late. Our daughter and I no longer wanted her.